My brother, welcome back. Like Carter. So the first thing I always want to ask people is like, because this is like the new compound, and when you walk in the new compound, what do you think? What do you see, and what do you get from it?
First thing, it's funny because every time I've been here, and I've been here a few times now, the first thing that comes to me is that I'm really proud of you. You know what I mean? Because I was at the first compound, which was amazing, and then you're in my city now, and it's amazing again. Yeah, accomplishments and accolades are all cool, and spaces are cool, and the things that you're doing are very cool. But like as a person, I'm proud of you more than I am proud of anything. So what you're building and what you're doing is good for us, and I say us carefully.
That's a fact. Well, thank you. That means,
And of course, the place is really nice. I think it's dope, and I think it's an engine for creativity, which is dope.
I try to call it a creative sparring gym. So,
Okay.
which you fit perfect. So now I can start.
Hopefully.
We got Clark Kent in this building, and one of the things I always notice about
With
me,
DJ first.
I think I'm gonna touch a lot of Clark Kent's.
No, when
Paul's kids.
I'm a DJ.
Okay.
Regardless, that's the reason. The only reason why we're actually here is because what I've done DJ wise.
Because you DJ, right?
Because if I didn't start there, I wouldn't have gotten to anything else that I've done.
It's the same story for me though.
Right.
But I took the DJ off because I stopped. But
Which I don't understand.
we
I've spoken to you a number of times about that.
as they say in the corporate world, we'll take that offline.
Okay. Again.
We have DJ Clark Kent in the compound, and
It's an honor to be here.
nah, thank you. And for me, it's like a lot. I get to know you, so many different pillars of you, and I think some people know you for DJ, some people know you as producer, A&R, collector, and that is a range of records, things, items. But media and everything is always starts from the end. They always start in like, oh, media want to just talk about the list or want to talk about scars, and I'm like, okay, so these thousands and millions of people haven't get to heard the journey of you. So I want to go.
Oh wow.
I want to go back. Like the DJ. Well, it's a long
Spinning it back.
we've spinning back whatever the age is. So I want to start from the womb almost to coming out into the world of Brooklyn. Being born in Brooklyn.
I was born in Panama, but I was raised in Brooklyn. I've been here since I was 2 months old.
So you moved to Brooklyn at 2 months old. You are a person you have many families of different types. You have DJ family and friends family and music family. But what is the family of Clark Kent? Like the real start of the family, like your family, was it mother, father, brother, sister? Like
It was I'm the firstborn to my mother, so I was my grandmother's first grandchild. So I was super tight with my grandmother. My mother, of course, we're from Panama. We're from a disenfranchised country, living in a disenfranchised neighborhood in New York City. So working was almost like all you had. So my mom worked a lot. My grandmother didn't work as much, so I got to spend wild time with my grandmother. So she is literally the first best person in the world to me.
Wow. Well, what's the grandma name? That was
Mildred Brown. Mildred Brown. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
Ria Bajo's finest.
So she was Brooklyn's finest first.
No, she is Ria Bajo's finest.
Ria Bajo.
We're from Panama. We're from Ria Bajo, Panama. From Calle 13.
I like how the finest goes to every family member.
Well, she is the reason I try to be good at whatever I get myself involved in, because she was excellent.
Wow.
My mother was excellent too, but we all got it from her.
Wow. So okay, so we have little Clark in the house. When did the music start in the home? Like, or was the music?
There was always
influence?
music. My mother was an opera singer, and
Wow.
so I was born into a musical environment. So, but the good part was, like, if you understand Caribbean countries, our music didn't necessarily play on the radio. We heard country, western, and what would normally be called, I guess, what they thought was white music, rock and roll and stuff like that. And that's what we would hear on our radio stations in our countries. But you grow up, you hear that, and then you're in New York, so you hear R&B, you hear soul, you hear funk, you hear everything. And because my mother was so musical, she listened and played everything. So from when I can't even understand life, there was always music. And then by the time I was 5, I was the guy who was taking apart the clock in the house, trying to figure out how the clock worked, and then, getting my ass whipped for it. But I figured out how to play records on the stereo, and I was mystified by it. So I would play records, my grandmother's favorite record for her all the time.
So wait, you took the clock apart because of the music in the clock. You wanted to know.
No, I took the clock apart because I wanted to understand why it worked or how it worked, because it would chime. And I was like, why is this clock going off? And so I tried to figure it out. I never figured it out, but I figured out how to put it back together, so I would mess with things like that. So, but learning how to use the stereo was a thing for me because we all loved music, but my grandmother, she had this favorite record, and I would always want to play the record for her.
You remember the record?
Yeah, Happy Lane is about miracles, and it made her happy. Wow. Every time I played it, it made her happy. So to me, I was doing something for the person that made me the happiest. So I was paying it back.
So Lil Clark is into things. Curious Clark, not Curious.
Curious Clark.
Curious Clark is the new name. So then you love the music, but when did you know I love the music, I feel this like?
I love the music since then, since I was super duper young. I loved the music, and I loved music. I would play every record in the house just to hear the records, just to try to understand the records. Why was this made? Why does it sound like this? What was the idea? What was the thought behind the record itself? Like, I didn't even know that that's what I was doing then, but I just wanted to hear everything. So I played every record in the house. Wow. And we had lots of records.
Wow. Okay, so now,
understand me, I'm talking 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh,
like
no.
That young playing all the records, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I was roller skating on my sister's records at first. And, I just thought they was cool to ride around on. And then
that would have been bad.
It was bad. It was bad, but that's my past. So now we're in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. What was Brooklyn like to Little Clark? Like, because y'all have this, people from Brooklyn have this thing with Brooklyn.
I think let me get to the reason why I think people from Brooklyn have a thing. Is because if you look at the 5 boroughs, the hardest working borough, the blue collar part of New York City is Brooklyn. We work the hardest, and we go the hardest. And we were the ones who weren't afraid to go to Queens and the Bronx and Manhattan and that.
It's a thing with Brooklyn. It's a thing with the people from Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. When did you know and felt like you started to understand Brooklyn?
When I started to travel outside the boroughs, I was pretty young because I played citywide basketball, I played youth football, and we got to play in other cities because our teams were pretty decent. So we would go to Queens, we play in Queens. Ever so often we play in the Bronx. So we got to see the difference young. I'm talking like 10, 11, we got to see the difference. And then where I learned how to DJ was in the Bronx. So
well, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
We are, because you're asking those times. I learned how to DJ in 1975. Wow. That's when I started learning how to DJ. So I was outside seeing different places.
How old were you then?
9.
You was outside.
I was outside. Well, you have to understand, like, the difference with society now is they got social media. Social media was our front stoop. So we had to go outside, and we didn't have enough money to have toys, you know what I'm saying? So we had outside. our favorite sport when we was growing up was stickball and basketball. Why? Because stickball, you needed a broomstick and a Spalding ball, and for basketball, you just needed a basketball.
What about Scully?
Yeah, Scully was milk tops. And we played Skelly.
Yeah, I just
it wasn't.
didn't
We
want
didn't
you
call
to-
it Scully. I don't even know how that.
Was it tops?
No, we called it Skelly, not
Skelly.
Scully. I mean, I don't even know where people got the miscommunication wrong, or maybe we were miscommunicating.
I just wanted to make sure it was in the.
Oh no, we played Skelly for sure. I was
Did
kind
you
of nice.
Did you
at
get
that
the
too.
milk top?
Milk tops? Put the clay in the middle.
What
and
about
then
the
wax
candle
on
wax?
the outside?
Okay.
Yeah, the wax on the out.
And then it was the scrape. Did you scrape on the ground?
Nah, because the way we would make it, I would put a penny in the middle of the
You a little dirty dude.
No. I was like, you had to get the weight right. If you scrape it down, then the weight doesn't.
But see, I did a scrape because you remember when you stood at one, and then you launched over the coolie. You called it the coolie?
We ain't call it none of that crazy stuff.
You ain't call it a square box. What do you call the square box when you get in the box?
I don't even remember what we called that, but it wasn't called a coolie. Well, you probably played in Philly, right?
I played both.
Bronx. Bronx. It's different.
Yeah,
It's different.
but
Yeah,
I
we
played-
didn't call it the coolie. I can't remember what we called it, but it wasn't that.
So, it was a candle wax into the red top,
Yes, for sure. And the milk tops.
milk tops.
Yes.
With this, I was doing the scrape.
Oh, we also used the tops. I mean the caps on the bottom of school chairs. The little silver caps they were heavy
on the chair bottom.
on the chair bottoms, and you put clay in the middle of those. It was crazy.
All right,
those were crazy.
This is way off subject though. You know we got the compound gallery downstairs.
Yeah. You gonna put a Skelly court there?
We should do
A Skelly competition?
facts.
I was nice at Skelly.
I didn't go into who's nice.
I'm saying like I'm down for that. Is what I'm saying, because I could still make an ill top too.
So, but did you Did you squeeze the sides and push it, or like
Nah,
you had to? Because you remember you had to throw it to the one across the.
That was called hiking.
Oh, y'all called it hiking.
Hiking. We call that hiking when you pick it up and but I was nice.
All right, so here we gonna do the Scully,
Competition?
this Clark Kent Scully.
No.
compound collab.
You brought it up, so we'll do it though.
But because the guy is empty space, I mean, we can make two of them.
As long as they got a nice flat structure.
We good. We
on the
straight.
floor, okay, good money. I'm in.
All right, so now I'm good.
We need a budget for that though, because I'm gonna be competitive when it comes to that.
Yeah, we'll find a brand, but
Okay.
nobody doing a Scully gallery show. It's gonna be crazy. So, stickball, basketball, and Scully with
Yeah.
the three.
And football, and baseball if you
Well, that was
if
stickball,
your
right?
area. Nah, see, baseball was played on the field. Stickball was played in the middle of the street. And the reason why I say there's a difference is because not every block
Yeah,
had
there's
enough
enough
money
room.
not every block had enough money for their block association to get a baseball team. Of
course.
So it wasn't. Plus, it cost more. You had to have. When you're playing baseball, organized baseball, you got uniforms, you got cleats, you got equipment, you got baseballs, you got bats, you got gloves. It's a lot. It's more expensive too. So, like I said, basketball. If you got 12 people and one person got a ball, you played.
You good?
Yeah.
So let's go to the DJ that started in 1975.
Yeah.
9 years old.
Yeah.
What was it like to see a DJ first, and like, cause before you started, you seen it. It's like,
Yeah.
when did you know, like, I want to be that?
What happened was I went to my uncle's house and he had 2 turntables and a mixer. And I was like, what is that for? And he was like, so records could mix. And I said, do you know how? And he's like, no. And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, well, why the hell does he have this? He's like, so I asked, well, why do you have it? He said, because, when we go to clubs, because him and my aunt went to clubs a lot. And he just wanted what they had in the clubs in his house.
In his house.
So he got these 2 turntables and this mixer, did not know what to do with it. And he said it was so the records could mix together when they're going in and out of each other, so the music never stopped. And I just was like, and then he took me to a park jam.
And you seen it.
And I saw it happening. And I was like, oh, yeah, I want to do that. And then he goes, you can try on my equipment. So I learned on his equipment.
Did you have belt drive where you couldn't go?
There was 2 belt drives.
And you couldn't go back?
And they were different. That even made it worse. It was a dual turntable and a BIC turntable, and I had to learn on that. But there wasn't cutting and scratching in 1975 like that.
Not.
It was mixing.
Mixing
It was
records.
trying to, and you know, like early on, like I saw Grandmaster Flowers, and I saw PDJ Jones, and I saw the heroes of Brooklyn, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I need to do that.
And this was
75, 76, 77.
okay. So the same time you seen it, you started right after it.
Oh yeah, as soon as I saw his DJ set,
It was
he
time to go.
showed me someone DJ. And then I was like, oh, I want to do that. So he said I could learn on his set. So I would try on his set. And then the more I saw others, I was like, oh no, I got to get better. I got to know how to do it. I got to find out what queuing is. And it's funny because at that age, I'm trying to do something that only grown-ups did. At that age, I'm trying to do something that only grown-ups did. I wanted to understand and learn, and I was seeing the luminaries doing it. And I just practiced and tried, and the difference back then was I was young trying to do something that only grown men were doing, so they accepted the questions differently. It wasn't like I was going to people my age and you ask them a question and they got the secret and they don't want to tell you. They were looking at it like,
We wanted to
this young boy, what is he talking about? He's asking, I'm gonna tell him. So they were telling. And I learned about queuing, and I learned about headphones, and I learned about all that stuff and putting records on beat, and so I learned quickly. Yeah.
Okay, so in this genre of hip hop we have, to me the DJ's names was the flyest, and a lot of them came from me between DC and Marvel. Of course, yourself, Clark Kent, DJ Flash, the DJ Green Lantern. It's
Hey, I want to be clear. My name wasn't Clark Kent from the beginning.
no, I know we're gonna get to that.
Oh, okay.
I just, it's funny to me that that the similarities of comic books, a lot of DJ names came. So,
Well,
what was your first DJ name?
I didn't have one. The kids in my neighborhood called me Clark Kent because I wore glasses. So I just was like, let it stick, right? And then somewhere at maybe like in the teenage years, I was like, nah, I used to write graffiti and I used to write Blink. So I was like, DJ Blink. And then I was like, because the reason I wrote Blink was because I had like an irritation with my eyes where I blinked a lot. And I just used it. Then it was terrible. And then one day I went to Grandmaster Blaster. That lasted about 8 days. And then I just kept with Clark Kent. My neighborhood, like they called me that. I couldn't get away from it. You know what I mean? So it just was what it was. But it took a different meaning for me at a certain point. By the time I was like 18, it was, I'm a super DJ. Because I had proven myself all around as, a little better than the average DJ.
DJ.
Yeah.
Now, but did the glasses stop being worn?
No, I wore glasses all the way up through when I was touring with Dana Dane and came back and was doing all the clubs in New York City. I was wearing glasses all through that. And then one day I got contact lenses, and it was great because, when you're DJing, if you DJ hard, like you might sweat, and as you sweat, your glasses slide. And I hated that shit. So the contacts came, and then it was still
good.
I'm still all the way there.
See, that's what I mean. Like, I don't think a lot of people don't know. When you think of DJs and these names, and I always even say like Meth is Ghost Rider, and it's so many aliases from our hip hop legacy of artists connected with
Heroes.
Yeah. And, I looked at it always as like, okay, Clark Kent is the person, and then Superman is who he is as a DJ.
Super DJ. I always looked at it like that. Yeah.
I think 98% of the world who looks at you, if they haven't heard this story or know this story, to feel the same thing.
Right. Yeah, because literally the only place that I have an actual chip on my shoulder is behind turntables. That's the only place I actually believe I've earned the chip on my shoulder is behind turntables.
I think your designing of sneakers. I think you have.
I don't have a chip on my shoulder for that. And the reason why is because I'm actually still humble that I get to do it. I think I come up with some good stuff.
Yeah.
But
the music.
sneakers are so subjective. Like people can literally look at it and go, I hate those. And it's perfectly fine because
That's true.
I don't think everything is for everybody. But when you're playing, if you got a room full of people, the DJ's job is to move the crowd. And if you don't, then something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
All right. So, got the name now. We're in Brooklyn. The feeling of Brooklyn is in you.
Yeah.
You got the lessons and you got the jewels from the OGs. I always ask this question, like, when did you know you arrived? When did you know, like?
For me, it was really early. I might have been a little delusional, but I didn't think I was personally because it was the gateway to me to go all the way. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to play at a park jam with Grandmaster Flowers. He let me on his set at Lincoln Terrace Park. I'm 11. I was 11, about to be 12. And he let me on and he was like, you really can play? And I was like, and PDJ Jones was there and he was like, Dad, that's the kid from up the street. Because I live 2 blocks away from Lincoln Terrace Park and he's playing at a park in my hood. And I'm like, oh no, he's Jesus of all DJs is Flowers. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm there and I'm standing next to the rope, like looking and my uncle who was friends with PDJ Jones Pete was like, yeah, that's the kid, that's Hector's boy, that's Hector's nephew. He can play. And he goes, you can play? I was like, yes.
You was ready.
I was almost like ignorantly ready. Like, yeah, you can't tell me nothing. I know how now. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes, you want to play a record? And I was like, yes. And he goes, well, pick something. I picked like 30 records up. And he's looking at me like, you know all of these records? I was like, yes. He was like, oh.
And how old was you then?
11.
11, okay.
And like I said though, like in my house, it was full of music. And then my uncle, he went to all the clubs. So he had all the club records. So I knew the records. You know what I mean? So he gives me a shot. And like the first record, I mixed on time. And he was like, okay, you play another one? He let me play for about 35 minutes. Wow. And I was like, I went home. I got in trouble for being late because I was so young. And I went right to my grandmother and I said, I'm going to be a DJ for the rest of my life. And she goes, that's okay, but you got to finish school. And I was like, I thought to myself, that's it?
Bet.
You know?
So it wasn't even...
I felt like I was there right then and there.
At 11.
Yeah, because I got the green light to do it.
From Grandma.
And Grandmaster Flowers.
And you wasn't even DJ hip-hop, which was so...
Nah, hip-hop wasn't necessarily a thing.
The thing, so it was,
you know
a
what I'm
lot
saying?
of soul.
It was starting. It was blossoming.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You did a lot of soul records, basically.
Yeah. You were playing soul and disco.
Like the Blackbirds and...
Yeah, and disco. It was a lot of disco.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never considered myself a hip-hop DJ. I consider myself a DJ.
That's a fact. But people would never... You know, a lot of people might look at you as a hip-hop DJ, but, you know, hearing this, you are a disc jockey.
And if you come hear me, you'd be hard-pressed to say I'm a hip-hop DJ. Because I play everything.
Everything.
You know? Everything.
So now, Clark Kent is the name. The OGs in the neighborhood is giving you, you got the pass from Grandma now. When does the journey of hip-hop start for you? Not, you know, also being in Brooklyn, like...
Well, at the same time, things are starting to, the style of DJing is starting to evolve. And then you're realizing, okay, well, this is something different. Mm-hmm. You know, we're doing something different than just playing disco records. We're cutting and we're keeping breaks going. And, oh, yeah.
Bringing it back.
Yo, it's, and, well, wait a minute. Now, this ain't, what?
It's another different.
This is different.
Different DJ.
You know what I'm saying? It's a different DJ. And, you know, it was happening at the same time as when I was starting. It's just that it wasn't a thing to me to be thinking that way. Mm-hmm. I learned how to do it, but my thing was I want to play records properly. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to mix records properly because, like, literally, I think the best mixing DJ I've ever heard was Grandmaster Flowers. And I wanted to be I wanted to be good like that. And then, you know, you hear the Flashes, and you hear the Theodores, and you hear the Breakouts and the Barons and the JCs and you're like, oh yeah, I want to be that good too. So everything started to play into itself, and
So I'll do another question about this new world of DJing with breaks and
style, new style,
new style of DJing, breaks.
new elements of
elements
DJing.
that
Yeah,
come with
because
DJing.
I think when a kid thinks DJing now, if he doesn't think the whole picture, all of the things that we did to make the thing change and all of the layers that we added onto it, then he's shorting himself. You know what I'm saying? You should be thinking, I know how to do everything when it comes to DJ. You should. I'm not saying everyone will, but I think you should, respecting the craft.
So what was the age now? Because 11 was the mixing and the blending.
Yeah, but by 12, we're hearing the cutting and scratching, and you're learning how to cut and scratch.
At 12,
Yeah,
it was time.
it was time quick, because things started to get different. Like, you would go hear Master D, and you would go hear whomever else and wherever else, and you're hearing DJing is just different now. So now we gotta play. By the time I'm in junior high school, I'm cutting and scratching records.
So for me, it's a cross-lateral thing that's happening in the life of Clark right now. He's a DJ. So he's outside. He's young. He's in junior high school. Girls are around now. Fashion is meaning things now. Seriously, fashion is just as key as getting the blend right.
Right.
You know you're a sneaker. Don't even know the next word, but I'll leave it at that.
I'm not a sneaker junkie.
I didn't say that.
I am a sneaker junkie, but I'm a fresh addict.
Okay, that's why I said you're a sneaker something. I didn't. Have
Yeah, I'm a fresh addict. It wasn't just sneakers. You know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
so-
okay,
Let's
ahead,
go.
Sorry.
So the DJing is it's
Paramount.
it's locked now.
Paramount.
We good.
Yes.
We 12. We got the blends back to back, scratches, break beats. Let's go into Clark Kent, the fashion world. What was going on? Let's go back at 11 then, because you were going to the parks. Your uncle had to be fly because he was going to the clubs. And when did the love of shoes and fashion and caps and hats? Because it seemed like to me this all went together at the same time. It was like a gumbo being created.
I mentioned before, I'm doing something that only older people did, right? So for some reason, that's who I connected to. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm 11 and 12, the older guys on the block, 16, 17, 18, who really outside, their influence was strong on me because they actually would have conversations with me. I could talk to them because I was doing some shit that one day y'all are gonna try to be in the places where I'm at. And that actually started quick because by the time I was 14, I was playing clubs. So all the older guys on my block and our neighborhood was like, you know this little motherfucker's playing clubs. And they would want to go to the clubs where I was at. So
You was playing clubs 14.
yeah.
No business in the club.
Nah, but I was also 6 foot tall. I looked a little older. Yeah, like, so
Classic.
I passed for getting in clubs to DJ. And I trust when I say I got my ass whipped every time I played a club because it was like I was sneaking out to play clubs. No, so it was
It was
tough.
bad.
Yeah, no, I was challenging when I was
It
young.
was a challenging young
I
child.
was challenging when I was young. And yes, I was challenging. I'll leave it right there.
We'll leave it at that.
But so the older guys were like superheroes in our neighborhood, especially because none of us really have fathers. So the older guys were like the ones that I guess you could say we looked up to somehow. So we would always go, damn, like, how'd they get all the girls, or how they so cool? And I would always notice that basically they wore the same thing except their sneakers always were clean. So I thought it started from your sneakers. So my uncle, the same uncle that let me DJ, by the time I was 9, he bought me a pair of Pro-Keds. He bought me a pair of Pro-Keds. That was the first name brand sneaker I ever had. And from that point on, it was like I needed sneakers like Pro-Keds, because I went to the block and the older guys was like, oh, you got a pair of Pro-Keds on, you got the Pro-Keds on.
So the Pro-Keds started it.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, the older guys looked at my sneakers and I became cool immediately. But they're wearing BBD nylons, they're wearing Lee jeans with the flares. They wear not even the stripes. I'm talking about back when it was jean suits. They were wearing the flare, though, the bell bottom joints, and I'm just like, shit. So everything I did when I was young to make any kind of money, because like we had older people on the block who would need things done. Me and my cousin made it our business to do everything on the block so nobody else could get money but us two. But we were like 10 and 11. So we're doing it though, and every dollar we made, for me, it went to 50 cent went to being fresh, and the other 50 cent went to getting records. So let's say one weekend we make $20. We take 50 cent, get on the bus, go down to flea market, Glenwood Flea Market, and we will buy Pro-Keds for $9, and then take another 50 cent and get back home. So that's $10 for a pair of Pro-Keds. The challenge was getting home with your sneakers.
With your sneakers.
So, because Glenwood Flea Market was a total 2-3 neighborhoods away from where I lived. But if you could get home with them, then you got back to the block and you had a red pair of Pro-Keds. And then 2 weeks later, you had a green pair of Pro-Keds. And the black pair. Black pair was my first color. But then they had Royals and they had 69ers. So it was like either you had the Royals or you had 69ers. And me, I tried to get every color.
Every color.
Because your sneakers made your whole outfit look different. So you could be wearing a white T-shirt.
Totally. Still works to the day.
Right, you could be wearing a white T-shirt and the same jeans for the whole week, and your sneakers will make it look like you got a brand new outfit on.
So let's go into this now, because it's the same question, and I see the excitement. When did you know you was there with the sneakers? Because we knew we hear the music.
Oh, I think it was like basically the year before Fila's became popular. So I think it was like 85 or 84.
Okay.
But there was a guy in our neighborhood. The freshest guy in my neighborhood was a guy named Bourne. And he didn't live on my block, but he lived like maybe like 8 blocks away, but he would always come through our block because he knew everybody. Understand when I'm telling you, he was the freshest motherfucker in the world. And I was going away to school. I went to school upstate New York, so I come back, and I go to Scandinavian to buy a CB jacket, because up at the school, if you didn't have a CB jacket, you wasn't cool. So now I got to go back home, figure out a CB jacket so I could go back to school and be cool. I get the CB jacket. Actually, this is like 84, maybe even like 83 or 84. I go to get my CB jacket, and in this store that only sells ski shit was a little section in a corner that sold tennis shit. And they had one of them stands that they put sneakers on that spins, and you had like 8 pair of sneakers on each side, and they had these Filas, and I was like, what are these? And the guy goes, oh, those are Fila tennis sneakers. And I was like, oh, no, not even that. I just was like, how much are those? And the guy says $110, which was $7,000 back then. And I was like, CP jacket or Fila?
Fila.
I'm like, I'm going to get the Fila.
As you should.
I took them home and I put them on and immediately went to the block. And Bourne came through the block. And Bourne goes, yo, what the fuck are those? I was like, oh, that's it. That's it.
You arrived.
In my mind, I'm like, I killed Bourne. I got him on something fresh. Yeah. I was like, it's it. It's over. So
you did it.
From that point, all I wanted to buy was sneakers that I never saw. So I bought FootJoy. I bought Lottos. I bought
Saucony's.
No, we didn't buy Saucony's. We bought Spot Bills. Saucony's were under Spot Bill. Yeah. Like E-Tonics, I never bought E-Tonics because they were like knockoff FootJoys.
What about Kangaroos?
No. We bought Lecoq Sportif.
Lecoq Sportif.
We bought Patrick's. We bought,
Ralph Sampson's.
yeah, that was a good shoe. Ralph Sampson had a good shoe. Those were Pumas though.
Yeah, I call him Ralph's.
But yeah, that was it. Like as soon as I had that pair of felines, and then I was like, oh, now I gotta go back. So now I gotta figure out how to get some money to go back to Scandinavian. And now I gotta buy the suit.
The feline
That,
suit.
but I never told him where it came from.
'Cause that was
I
it.
just went back to the
was the
block and
spot.
waited for Born with the suit on now. So now it's over.
Now.
So now I'm as fresh as Born.
All right. So now we at a point in the journey of.
You have to understand how important that was for a fresh addict, because I was a fresh addict.
I get it. This is why I asked you when was the moment?
Yeah, that was the moment when Born was like, what are you wearing? And then every pair of sneakers that I came back to the block with, he was like, yo.
Yeah, where you getting these?
Yeah.
I get it. So now I
had Gucci sneakers, and he was like,
Did you go to AC to get them?
nah.
Okay.
I got them from the Gucci store.
Okay.
Not everybody else was going to they were going to outlets to get theirs.
Okay.
I bought mine before the outlets got them. The outlets didn't get them till '86. I had mine in '84.
So we was going from Philadelphia. We was catching
Right.
a bus.
You was going to AC to go to the outlet. Trust
No,
me.
I was going. It was Gucci store.
Oh, the Gucci store.
It was
but
Gucci
they
store.
had a Gucci store and a Gucci outlet in AC.
Yeah, but it was the store was first because remember Bally's was
Yes,
there.
they
and
were
that's
too.
where
Yeah.
I was going. But kudos to you on this. What was the name of the store? CV. What was the name of the store?
Scandinavian.
Scandinavian. So
Changed everything.
yeah, I see it. It gave you the aha moment. So now, to me, the package is done. The DJ is there, the kicks is there, the suits are there.
The fresh is there.
The whole
Not the
fresh.
kicks, it's the fresh.
The fresh ensemble fresh.
Yeah,
So,
the fresh is there.
so now around this time, hip hop it's there. You know, from Brooklyn, it's just Dana Dane. And I guess Big Daddy Kane was very young around those ages, but
Big Daddy Kane, Dana Dane, UTFO,
Yep.
Roxanne, Real Roxanne.
Real Roxanne.
Like there were Divine Sounds. There was a lot.
so where was? Because Clark to me, he's still young.
Yeah.
When this
Pretty young. That's pretty young.
pretty young, you know, you was sneaking in.
I'm 19 playing clubs, playing, Latin Quarters and Underground, or Underground, which was called Union
Did your
Square.
Limelight was back?
Yeah.
You was sneaking in Limelight too?
I'm a DJ.
Okay.
I was playing. I
You was
didn't
playing.
have to
I
sneak.
didn't sneak no more.
Yeah. But I stopped playing Limelight real quick
Okay, we'll get into
because it was a church.
Yeah,
And I was just like, this is wrong.
this ain't right.
Yeah, it was just saying.
A lot was going on in there.
Yeah, it was just too much.
It was a lot. So this Brooklyn hip hop scene now is emerging. And what was it for you then? Like, okay, because now you got your whole Clark has arrived. I'm who I am. I'm in my skin. I'm comfortable. And you're like, y'all, UTFO is like now you're seeing these history being written right before your eyes, but you're a part of it. What
Yeah,
was,
we were all friends.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And the Brooklyn community of hip hop was small because hip hop was still small.
it was just
But now we're all friends. Like you have to understand, like I live 10 blocks away from Full Force. So we used to be in their house all the time, and that's where they used to record. That's where UTFO record. Like I battled UTFO when they were UFO. When their crew was called UFO. That's what UTFO is really UFO. It's Untouchable Force Organization. Because they couldn't call themselves UFO, they had to call themselves UTFO. So it's Untouchable Force Organization.
Wow.
And Force, all of that is part of Full Force.
Full Force.
They come from that.
So what was
But Howie T, like he was a popular DJ in New York. We had to, in Brooklyn, we had to go through him. We all had to be that good.
be that good to excel?
Yeah.
So growing up, you're hearing UTFO, you're hearing Dana Day, you're seeing all these styles.
I'm not even hearing them. I'm with them.
Yeah, but you're hearing, you're seeing
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
You're seeing it written, you're seeing it recorded, you're seeing the beats being made on
But the other part is I'm also playing all over the city, so I'm seeing it all. I'm seeing the Grandmaster Fast Fury 5 Cold Crush. I'm seeing Force MCs. I'm seeing everything.
You're seeing everybody.
I'm going to Harlem World.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
Like,
seeing-
I'm not missing. I'm at Savoy Manor. I'm at everywhere. I'm outside doing and making sure I saw it was a part of it, played at it. I was at the Fever. I was, yeah.
You was there.
Yeah.
But for Brooklyn, let's stay in Brooklyn.
Okay.
For Brooklyn, because y'all created some mega music, mega styles, mega lyricists. I mean, from then to now, like, what was it like being? Because you know how a person told me one time, they was like, "Free, you don't understand. You're in the fish tank, and you don't understand the beauty that you are. Everybody else looking at you, because you're a part of it." And I think it's the same for you. You were in it, but now you get a chance to sit back and look at it. But like, when you think about being a part of something that cultivated to where it is to the magnitude of the day, where was your mind at then, and how do you look at it now?
I think if anybody who was in it then acts like they knew
What was going
what
on?
was going on, they'd be a liar. You know what I'm saying? We were all fighting to be heard and fighting to be seen in this thing that was growing in front of us, but it was growing because of us. So it was just like, oh shit, we're making more money. Oh shit, we're having more fun. Oh shit, we're going out of town. Like what? You want to hear me play in another place?
And Philadelphia,
Yeah, like-
Delaware.
In Reykjavik, Iceland. Like, I'm 19 DJing in Iceland. Like that's wild.
That's
You know what I'm saying? So you don't realize, you're just thinking, okay, that's the next step. Okay, that's the next step. And you're just doing it. And you get to see amazing things happen. Like I look at the way I started to produce. I walked into a studio with Dana Dane when he was starting his album with Herbie Lovebug, and it was an SP1200, and I watched him use it. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. I literally bought an SP1200 like 3 days after I saw Herbie Lovebug using one. Never learned. But he said, you can fuck with the 1200 when I'm not in the studio. So the same day, I'm like trying to figure this shit out. And then days later, went and bought one. And then went right to Marley's crib.
Question.
Which is ill if you think about it. Like, how small was our world if I'm at Herbie Lovebug's studio, we're in Bayside, and then I'm going to Marley's crib
To learn.
days later to see him, who is Lord Jesus Christ of all of us. Like, there's no rap producer who does boom bap music who is not a child or a product of Marley Marl.
That's a fact.
He's the sampling Jesus.
Question, just so my memory and even everybody watching. SB12 was blue, right?
Yeah.
And then SB1200
1200 was also, it was gray and
gray
black.
and gray and black.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started on SB1200
Yeah, because it was super brand new at that precise moment.
at that moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dana Dane's DJ.
Yeah.
Now it's elevated to the producer.
Yeah.
And then, where were you at as a producer in the young, like, because that now it's back to learning. It's back
Right.
to getting the lessons and like, oh, this is my first track that I really like. This is not trash. Like,
Right.
I'm ready to let people hear my tracks now.
Right.
When was that time? Because even for me, I went from DJ to making beats, but I made beats for like maybe 4 or 5 months before I even want anybody to hear anything.
Well, my education
Came from Molly.
came from Marley and Herbie Lovebug. So like, I saw it, so I learned quick. And I came from a time when the drums pretty much mattered more than the rest of the records. So, and I'm learning from two guys one guy's into programming drums, might sample some, but programming, and one guy's into sampling and then programming. So I'm just like, I'm learning without learning from them.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I got a machine, I'm gonna figure it out. So it wasn't hard to figure out. As soon as I learned how to use a machine, I'm making beats. And then I got my own rapper. I'm Dana Dane's DJ.
Yeah.
And
so now my beats can go today.
My beat, I could be shown to him, and he might not take them, which he didn't, but it was shown to him. And then one day, somebody else who was cool with me, we're on the same radio station, says, hey, can you remix a record? Sure. Never
Never.
Never knew if I could remix a record, but I was like, sure.
Now, was that, because back then, did you get the acapella
No,
on
I
tape?
got the whole master tape.
Or you got the whole tape?
Yeah. The first remix I ever did, I did for a group called Seriously Fine, and it never came out.
That's
So to me, that record doesn't matter. The next remix I do is Spread My Wings.
wow.
So basically, my first record is a smash. It did really well. So in the music business back then, if you got one hit record, it's almost like you got 20 tries to do it again.
Exactly.
So I did like 30 remixes that year.
So that
And now I'm making actual money.
money. So
Yeah.
now the world of Clark Kent the DJ is full blown out.
Right.
Spread My Wings remix is taking off. So now the producer is, it's left hand, right hand.
And I would say I was looked at more as a remixer than a producer. But I was producing my remixes.
Yes.
So at some point, it's like, yo, can you make records? And I'm like, yes. So I believed I could.
So now, DJing, Spread My Wings remix out there, bunch of remixes out there.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it's the time of like just hip hop is flourishing right now.
Right.
You know, I don't know what was that? It was at the Rakim stage, Juice Crew, LL, like when all your remix, like, what was that influx of calls like coming in now? Like as far as from a producer standpoint.
Well, I would say the influx of calls started from the remixer.
Okay.
And like I said, once you get one hit, it's like, oh, everybody's going to be, oh, shit, look what he did to that. Let's see if he could do something for this. So, like I said, that year I might have done like 30 remixes, and the calls were the calls. But then in the midst of that, the person who called me to do Spread My Wings was like, his right-hand man is another guy who's on the same radio station as us, and he goes, yeah, come into my office. I go to his office. He's like, tomorrow, go to Hank Caldwell's office. You're going to do A&R at Epic. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, because they're like OGs to me. Like Timmy Regisford's an OG to me. Merlin Bob's an OG to me. And Timmy says, yeah, you're going to go there. You're going to do A&R. And I'm like, okay. What's A&R? And he explains, and he was like, I do A&R. Merlin does A&R. We work at the record companies. We find and try to find artists and make the records and stand behind the producers and find songwriters. And I was like, oh, okay, I could try to do that. I go there. 3 days later, he goes, yeah, you tell him you quit and you're going to go work with Merlin over at Atlantic. And I was like, I just started here. You know, he goes, yeah, don't worry about it.
Wow.
And I'm like, but Hank's your man. He was like, just don't worry about it.
It's okay.
And I go and I work for Merlin, and I was at Atlantic for 5 years.
So now it's a trifecta out here.
Yeah. Now I'm in the seat to try to sign artists, because I wasn't like a senior
A&R yet.
A&R. I'm like an A&R manager. You know what I'm saying? And in that position is when the first person I ever tried to sign was Hove, but I couldn't find him. In the midst of that, I met Damon and signed his artist and gave him a deal, and our friendship was like immediate. Me and Dame's friendship was immediate, and all I kept telling him was like, "Oh, you got to hit my man. My man gets super duper busy. Where's your man at? I don't know."
And this year you trying to find Jay?
Yes, in that time. And then when I found him, I was like, "I got my man. You need to hear him." But I'm already working on records on him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
you working on records before you met him?
Before I met Dame? No.
Oh.
I met Dame while I was trying to find
Jay. But you were working on records for Jay.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. And but it wasn't just Jay. It was Jay, Dame. It was Jay, Sauce, and Jazz. We were a group called the Hard Pack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was Hawaiian Sophie time?
No. Yeah, it was after Hawaiian Sophie.
It was after
Hawaiian. That was Jazz's first album. Jay was, but then you know they went their separate ways, and Jay went the way that he was, and Jazz was doing what he was doing, and I was just like, to me, they're my favorite MCs. I want to sign them. You know what I'm saying? So I called Jazz. I was like, are you still signed? He was like, nah. I was like, yo, where's Jay? I don't know. I was like, dog, I want to sign y'all. He was like, what do you mean you want to sign us? I work at Atlantic Records. I want to sign y'all. Like, y'all are my favorites. I want to sign y'all. And I had to do a bunch of things to find Jay. And then when I found him, he was like, yeah, that rap shit is corny. So being an A&R, it wasn't all cracked up what it was supposed to be. But again, I'm not in a position to say I'm a vice president. I want to do this.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, through the wanting to sign Jay and all of that happened, and I didn't get to sign him at the label I was working. I didn't get to sign Nas. I didn't get to sign Mobb Deep. I didn't get to sign Jay. Like all of these artists I tried to sign at Atlantic didn't go the way that I wanted it to go. So I just got frustrated, and I was like, I quit. And then like days later, Andre Harrell calls me. He was like, yo, I'm about to take over Motown. Come be the vice president. I was like, yes. But then I went there and he didn't let me sign Jay. So I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
So let me ask you this, because I guess around that time, Jay was with Big Daddy Kane. A little
It was
bit.
after the Big Daddy Kane
After the
situation.
Yeah, between that and like you said, the group. And you're out there, because now to me, it's the Clark Kent's a trifecta. DJ is at the top, producers on one side, and now we have the corporate A&R. All three happening at the same time. When you heard Jay and, you know, even Dana Dane, and what is it about lyricists and music? Because you're not an easy person to spark.
Yeah, I like when somebody says something that makes me go, oh shit, did you hear that? You know, do you hear what he said? You know what I'm saying? So when the world's going crazy over Melly Mel, I'm in the background going, have you heard of Grandmaster Caz? Like, y'all, I hear what you're going crazy for, but this is the guy. Like, to me, the first best MC was Grandmaster Caz. The world will go, it's Melly Mel, because that's who they heard. But I'm like, dog, it's Grandmaster Caz.
Got you.
And then, you know, later having to explain the first rap record you ever loved is Grandmaster Caz. Even though it was the Sugar Hill Gang, that's Grandmaster Caz.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, imagine trying to explain that later to someone, you know, like you're thinking this is it, but when it's really over here. And I'm not slighting Melly Mel in any way, because Melly Mel to me made probably the most important rap record ever with the message. It's easily one of my favorite rap records and easily one of the most important. But you don't get Rakim unless you get Grandmaster Caz.
You get nobody, technically.
No, I believe you can get some. You believe you get a bunch of good guys, but you don't get the skill set of Rakim if you don't have the skill set of Grandmaster Caz. You know what I'm saying? So, Grandmaster Caz is the first best MC. I would say Rakim was the second best MC, but he's literally the most important MC ever.
I would agree with that. So now, the Trinity is here. Producer, A&R, DJ at the top, always. You're signing artists. You signed Das Effects. You was on the hunt for Jay. There's stories out there about Nas. Go do your homework, Google. How was for you as a person in balance, man? You know, you haven't seen you have balanced this lane all the way through your career till to this day. What is the key for you for balancing, like, I mean, traveling all over the world, making music, studying, still you're a student to a bunch of games. Like, where does the balance come for you, especially in that time, like working with a Jay, working with a Big, A&R, DJing all over the world? What was that balance for you, and how did you do it?
The balance came from the purpose. And the purpose was I honestly wanted to contribute to better us. And when I say us, I mean our people and the way that we are viewed. I wanted to add to the betterment of us in any way that I could. I know that unfortunately entertainment gets looked at in a big way, and we come across as entertainment. Okay, cool. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna strive my best to give good entertainment, if that's what I'm in. If I'm in entertainment, I'm gonna strive my best. If I'm in the fashion and then making shoes and shit like that, I'm gonna strive my best to make some of the good things so that the contribution that I add wasn't wasted space. So that was my balance, was striving to make us proud. Like, I want my people, I don't necessarily care what anybody else thinks, but my people, they matter to me. So I want them to be able to go, I'm proud of what this cat did.
I think it's a purist that you keep, I think, in anything that you do across.
Yeah, for sure.
In hearing that, I think the balance of many things better than the pureness keeps you even all the way across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanna make sure that whatever I add on is good, because this let's just say we're looking at hip hop culture. It literally is ours. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else who's benefiting, everybody who's sliding in and they're enjoying and they're coming in, they're sitting in it for a while, and they're hanging out and getting to feel the ambiance. There's no ambiance without us. So I want to make sure that I'm adding on, so that when you step back in 100 years and look back, you can go, he didn't waste his time there.
I don't have enough time for like it's like, remember growing up the Barbara Walters special? And 60 minutes was never fair because you needed 90 minutes to really get the real interview with these shows and in these moments. But, you have a lot of accolades, even from Jay-Z Hall of Fame speech, mentioning you and letting the world know the reason of you in his music career. When you look at your career in these moments, and it's like, A&R, like, to me, like Wale's album, that it's, a lot of people might not even know you're the Wizard of Oz behind the hip hop curtain. The J world, the Biggie world.
I don't know if I'm Wizard of Oz. I feel like I'm more like the MC whisperer. I can tell you who the guys who say the best rhymes are. Like, to me, that was always my thing. I wanted to hear the guys who said the best rhymes.
But I think it's rhymes. There's also the music, though.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
Absolutely.
I think your ear is one of the greatest ears in the game.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
From a lot of different levels, though, starting with your uncle, because you were digging before digging started.
Right.
That transferred to digging went to mixing, mixing went to production, and then the placement of the artist over. It's like you were putting musical puzzles together all your life.
Right, for sure.
And like I said, it's not enough time to go through accolades, credits. But what to you are some of those moments through these years that are like, that was one of my favorites, and like, or these records that like your contributions that you did to the game. But what are your moments that you look at as the great moments?
My kids.
Wow. Yeah, well,
the things you do are the things that you're doing. But your kids are who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I do music. I am the embodiment of music. But like, if it ain't for them,
And your son's DJ now.
He's a DJ, and he's he's not a DJ. He's a producer. He tried to think he wanted to be a DJ.
I seen him DJ somewhere.
No,
wait,
you never seen my son.
No, okay, he was there.
He was there. He's been there plenty of times while I've DJed, but he's a producer.
He's a producer.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of him.
How
my daughter's an artist. I'm super proud of her.
I mean, they cut from the cloth. So when you look at music, though, because that's the life side. When you look at music moments,
but I think the music lives within my life. So if I had to look at what's the top for me, it would be them. Yes, I've done some cool things. I've made some cool records. I've worked with some cool artists, and I've been able to contribute to the culture, but to life.
It's your
My
kids.
kids, they're
Okay.
they're the best collaboration I've ever done.
One of ones.
Yeah,
One of ones. OG livestock. They are.
yeah.
They're not the other word, right?
No,
So, being you're a creator and a producer of.
I'm sorry if I didn't get to walk down a couple of things you might have been trying to
But
get
you know
to,
what?
but
The music lives it through them, though.
yeah,
So it is.
hopefully it will.
No, it already is.
Well, yeah,
You know.
but the world says you have to make the records. You know what I'm saying? Like in the music business, you have to make the records. So like, I'm praying that my son gets to make as many records as he wants. I want him to be able to express himself musically as much as he can, and like the world can hear it. Like I want my daughter's art to be seen by the world. I mean, art is subjective just like music. So hopefully people will think she's good. Hopefully people will think my son is good. And, that's what I want for them. I want for them to feel the freedom of expressing yourself with your talent and letting it take care of you. It is literally a blessing to be able to say, I play records and I can take care of my family playing records. Like, I don't work records, I play records. Like, you know how many people are living out here playing basketball, play, football, play,
Right.
baseball, play, DJ, play
That's a difference.
for a living?
For a lot of years.
That's
It's a blessing.
a blessing. Like
So-
people always say, "Oh, when are you gonna stop playing?" And I'm like, "How? Like, how? If I stop being a DJ, I'm gonna fall short in everything else because that's the reason I'm everything else."
So, before I close, because like I said, it's a lot of time I need to really dive in everything. The same energy I see you have for music, it seems like you do everything to the best and the purest of you do.
I'm
Let me finish.
okay.
From the world of sneakers to luggage with Toomey, to DJ bags, to whatever has this Clark print on it. It's the same quality to me across the board. From a blend to a mix to a shoe. What keeps that thread going? And like when you, from a creative standpoint, because like
I want to make my grandmother proud. Wow. And that's it. I just want to make her proud.
and then whatever it is.
Yeah. So, and I believe that if you get into something, you should do your best to truly understand what you're getting yourself into so that you don't, whack it out. Again, like let's look at sneakers, right? If I get the chance to do a shoe and I don't do a good shoe, I don't get to check the second chance. You know what I'm saying? So if I want the second chance, I got to do my best to make sure the first chance was a good shot. You know what I mean? Yep. And, I don't care how much cachet I come with being DJ Clark Kent with a whole bunch of sneakers in my house. If the shoe is whack, I'm done.
It doesn't matter.
Right. So I'm done. I'm literally done because that's your first shot. Like making your first song. If your first song is a record, a good record, they're going to give you 20 more shots.
20 more shots.
I've gotten like 86 shots when it comes to shoes. I've made 86 shoes in my career. I don't own a store. I don't have a website saying I'm selling sneakers. Like, I'm just a guy who really likes being fresh. And I really love music. And I was given a shot. And I guess my shooting percentage is pretty good.
Pretty good. Since I didn't touch on this, and I want to see if this was even connected to mom and grandma. The Knicks. They get the same love as the music. They seem like they get the same love as family members. They get the same love as shoes and the OG on the block. The passion for the Knicks is the same to me from this long conversation we had as everything else. Is that accurate, and where did it come from?
It come from I saw a championship happen in New York City. Though I was crazy young, I saw it, and I saw Bernard King in my hood. I saw Bernard King be one of the best shooters ever for my team. He was one of the best scorers ever on my team. And then I saw Patrick Ewing and John Starks, and I saw a competitive team playing in the Mecca. I'm a New Yorker. I'm a heavy New Yorker. So I'm not the guy who likes the Knicks and then goes and likes the Bulls. I might respect the Bulls, but nah, I'm a Knicks fan. I respect Michael Jordan. I might love the Bulls, but I respect Michael Jordan. I respect elite players. I respect elite teams, but you're not gonna make me say I take your team over my team. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a
I just wonder why
Knicks
your
fan.
whole demeanor in this interview, because this conversation changed. The Knicks aggression just came up.
That's for the Knicks, the Giants, or the Yankees and the Rangers. Like I'm aggressive. I love sports.
No Islanders?
That's one thing that most people probably don't know. Like I am a sports junkie, and like I said, it's not just the Knicks. It's the Knicks. It's the Giants. It's the Yankees
York
and the
teams.
Rangers. My New York teams. I'm a New Yorker. I'm a true New Yorker. So like when, like the Nets, when they came to New York, and when they came to Brooklyn, everybody's like, oh man, Brooklyn got a team. I know you're gonna be. I'm like, that doesn't necessarily resonate the same way because they came from Jersey. And before they were in Jersey, they were in Long Island. Did I love Dr. J? Absolutely. Then they went to Jersey.
They was in Jersey.
They were in Jersey for a good long time. And then you come, that's like saying Brooklyn buys the Cowboys. Do I become a Cowboy fan?
No,
Like that sounds fucking retarded to me.
you
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is that? I hate the Cowboys. I'm not gonna start liking them now because they came to Brooklyn. I'm not gonna start liking. Look, I respect the fact that the Nets are in Brooklyn. I respect that New York is such a powerful town. Think about this. Boroughs have teams in New York.
fact.
Boroughs.
Leads of the Mets.
Nah, New York City is a whole city.
What boroughs have.
We have boroughs that have teams.
Yes. And arenas.
What? We're a better city than every city on the goddamn planet.
I will
So-
I will agree to that.
I'm gonna stand up for my teams the way that they stand up for New York.
Okay. So my last question.
Well, let me step back. The best arena in the goddamn universe is Madison Square Garden. It's where every elite player wants to have his best game.
In both sports.
Right.
In two sports.
Right.
It's a fact.
Right.
And the best baseball arena in the world,
Yes.
which is Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
So when it's all said and done, it's all over, and Clark's not here no more in Earth. What do you want the legacy, or what do you want the world to know?
That he strived his best to contribute to us. Because there's enough of us making us look bad. And I love us. I do. I love us. We are the original people in the universe. And we are slighted, we're beat down, we're oppressed, we are made to feel smaller than everyone else, and we still illuminate the earth, and we still do and create everything first.
Fact. It's a fact.
So being able to contribute to a people that created so much, if I can be respected for my contributions in a world of all of the contributions that our people have done, yeah, you take me today.
Well, you have contributed, brother.
Oh, if like I said, man, if at some point somebody can go, he did some good shit for his people, for our culture, and I can be respected for what I've done in my career, I don't need anything else. Because my grandmother will be proud, my kids will be proud, and what do I need after that?
Nothing. Well, my brother, thank you. I'm gonna do a part 7. We're gonna skip all the other numbers, man. But thank you for coming to the pound. Thank you for sharing this story, because, like I said, media only talks about the current, and I think, we still need to have our own learning that's not school. So,
Agreed.
thank you, my brother.
Thank
Love
you
you,
for
man.
having me.